All right, welcome back to Math with Mr. Strands. This is Algebra 1, Lesson 14E of Matthew C. All right, we're going to continue with substitution of solving equations using the substitution method. All right, so 14E, let's jump right in. So for number 1 through 3, they give us two equations, x plus y equals -4, and x minus y equals -6. So I'm going to put one of those, doesn't matter which one, but I'm going to change one of those into slope-intercept form first. All right, and I'm going to change the first one. Okay, x plus y equals -4. So to get that, I'm going to write it here, x plus y equals -4. Okay, to get that to slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. I'm going to subtract x here. Subtract x on the other side, that leaves me now with y equals a -x minus 4. Okay, I'm going to erase this here. So now I got that in slope-intercept form. I'm going to move this up here a little bit. Okay, so I got y equals -x minus 4. I am going to first do number 1, sketch and estimate those solutions for each of those. Okay, so let's graph that one first. Y equals -x minus 4. So I'm going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plot my point. And then -x. So down 1 over 1 right here. I'm going to go ahead and graph this line. Okay, so it should look something like that. Okay, now for my second line, I'll do it in green. We got x minus y equals 6. To graph it, I'm just going to put it in slope-intercept form. That'll make it easier to graph. So if I have x minus y equals -6, again, I'm going to subtract x. That leaves me with a -y equals -x minus 6. And just to get that negative to be a positive, I'm going to divide everything by -1. And now I have y equals x plus 6. Okay, so I'm going to erase this here. I'm going to move my second equation up here by my first one. Okay, and now I'm going to graph that one. So I'm going to start with 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up here at the top. And then up 1 over 1. Well, since I can't go up, I'll go off the grid here. I'm going to go down in the opposite way. So I'm going to go down 1 over 1, which would be right here. Okay, I'm going to graph that. Okay. And looks like my graph might be a bit off. I'm going to try to regraph the red line real quick. So real quick, it's -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And down 1 over 1. Let me try drawing that line again. I might have drawn it a little off. Try to zoom it in a little bit more. Okay, there we go. I think that's a little bit better. And you can see that the point that crossed that is going to be right here. That point is going to be -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, +1. Let's see if I'm right. So I'm going to go back down here. Okay, to number 2. Use the substitution method to find x. All right, so I'm going to take my first equation right here that I changed into slope-intercept form, which was y equals -x minus 4. Okay, and I'm going to substitute that right here in for y. Okay, so instead of having x minus y equals -6, I'm going to have x, I'll write it over here, x minus -x minus 4 equals -6. And now I will be able to tell what x is going to equal. Okay, so if I have x minus a -6, remember 2 negatives really turns into a positive, so that's really saying x plus x, which is 2x All right, and then x minus a negative 4 is really x plus 4, okay? And actually, I'm going to backtrack. So if I do x minus negative x, that's my 2x. And this negative is actually going to turn this negative 4 into a positive. Sorry. So it's 2x plus 4 equals negative 6. Okay. So you got to think this, let me change colors. This negative right here is going to change this sign into positive, and it's going to turn this sign into positive since it's on the outside. So really this changes to a positive x. So positive x plus positive x gives me my 2x. And then a positive 4. The two negative signs are going to be a positive 4. Okay. And then on the other side, we got negative 6. So I'm going to subtract 4 here, subtract 4 here. 2x equals negative 10. Divide by 2, divide by 2. X equals negative 5. Okay, that's a good start because that's what I got for my x right there is a negative 5. Okay, so I'm going to write x equals negative 5. All right, and then number 3, use the solution to number 2 to find y. So my solution was negative 5. So now I'm going to plug negative 5 in for x, right? I'm going to use this equation right here. I'm going to plug it in right here. All right, so instead of saying x plus y equals negative 4, I'm going to say negative 5 plus y equals negative 4. Okay, to find out what y is, I'm going to add 5, y equals 1, which is a very good sign because that also matches with what I said. Okay, so there you know you're absolutely right when that happens. Okay, let's go on to number 4. So we got y minus 4x equals 4 and y plus 2x equals negative 2. Okay, I'm going to erase my graph up here because I'm going to need it again. Okay, I'm going to start with, I'm going to change one of these into slope-intercept form. Actually, I'm going to change both of them into slope-intercept form so I can graph them. Okay, so let's change the first one. We got y minus 4x equals 4. Okay, to change that into slope-intercept form, I'm going to add 4x to this side, add 4x to this side. I got y equals 4x plus 4. Okay, so that's one of them. That's the first one in slope-intercept form. I'm going to move this up here. Okay, I'm going to get the second one in slope-intercept form. Use green. So the second one I got is y plus 2x equals negative 2. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 2x here, subtract 2x here. Y equals negative 2x plus 2. And there you go. There's my second equation in slope-intercept form. Move that up here. Okay, so now I can graph those. Let's graph the red one first. So I'm going to go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, plot my point, and then up 4 over 1. I can't go up 4 because I'll run off the grid, so I'm going to go down 4 in the opposite way. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 over here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and graph that. I'm going to zoom in to graph it so I make sure my graph is correct. Okay, and I'm going to graph the green, which is y equals negative 2x plus 2. So I'm going to start at positive 2. I'm going to go down 2 over 1, 1, 2 over 1. I'm going to go ahead and graph this one. Again, it looks like my red might have been off just a tad. So I'm going to have to regraph that one. Let's regraph the red one real quick. Okay, they're not lining up exactly, so I'm going to try the green one more time. I got y equals negative 2x plus 2. 2 over 1. Let's try this again. It should line up exactly on a point. I'm not seeing that happen on this one, though, which makes me think I either got it wrong when I put it in slope-intercept form. So let me check that. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to try my green one again to make sure. So I got y plus 2x equals negative 2. So to get it in slope-intercept, I'm going to subtract 2x, y equals negative 2x minus 2. That would be my problem. I do make mistakes every once in a while. My students love that I make mistakes. It proves that I am human. Okay, so let's go back and graph this green line, which I did wrong. Okay, so I'm going to start with negative 2, down 2, 1, 2 over 1. That looks a lot better. It's been a long day. Let's graph this one. There we go. That looks a lot better. All right, and they meet at this point, which is right here. Okay, that point is going to be negative 1, 0. Okay, let's see if I'm right. So now I'm going to substitute to find x. Okay, so I'm going to take my y equals 4x, and I'm going to plug it in to one of these equations, right? I'm going to plug it into this one right here. So instead of saying y plus 2x equals negative 2, I'm going to say 4x plus 4 plus 2x equals negative 2. Now we'll be able to find out what x is going to be. So 4x and 2x is 6x plus 4 equals negative 2. I'm going to subtract 4. 6x equals negative 6. Divided by 6, divided by 6. X equals negative 1. That's a good sign because, as you can see right here, I got x as negative 1. Okay. I'm going to erase all this here. I'm going to move my x equals negative 1 up here. All right, now let's find out what y is. So I'm going to take my negative 1 and I'm going to plug it into one of the equations. I don't care which one. I'll just do it in this one right here. Okay, so now I got y minus 4 times negative 1 equals 4. Right, and that's going to be y plus 4 now, because you got a negative 4 times a negative 1, which is plus 4, equals 4. Subtract 4, y equals 0. Another good sign because these match up. Okay, so you know I did it correctly. Okay, move this over. Y equals 0. All right, let's go to number 7. We're finding the slope with that equation that they have there for you. So remember, this is going to be your first x, second x, first y, second y. So I'm going to have negative 2 minus 1 over 3 minus negative 1. Okay, negative 2 minus 1 is a negative 3. And 3 minus a negative 1 is going to be a positive 4. So your slope would be negative 3/4. Okay, the slope would be negative 3/4. All right, moving on to number 8. Now we got to find the y-intercept. All right, so I'm going to write out what we have so far. We got y equals my slope, which is negative 3/4, x plus, and now we're looking for b. Okay, so I'm going to choose one of these points. I'm either going to choose negative 1, 1 or 3, negative 2. It does not matter which one I choose. I'm going to choose negative 1, 1, and I'm going to plug it into this equation. Okay, I'm actually going to do it down here so I have a bit more space. So I'm going to have 1 equals negative 3/4 times negative 1, that's my x, plus b. Okay, so now I got 1 equals, so a negative 3/4 times a negative 1 is a positive 3/4 plus b. To get b by itself, I need to subtract 3/4 on this side, subtract 3/4 on this side, and you can see that b, 1 minus 3/4 is going to leave me with 1/4. Okay, so for number 8, you should have gotten 1/4. All right, I'm going to erase this so we can do number 9 now. All right, so now I need to write my equation in slope-intercept form. So that's going to be y equals negative 3/4 x plus 1/4. Okay, standard form, right? Standard form, you need to get ax plus by equals c. So if I move my 3/4 over, it becomes 3/4 x plus y equals 1/4. I cannot have fractions though, so I'm going to multiply everything by 4. And multiply everything by 4. Okay, the 4's cancel out, so now I'm left with 3x plus 4y equals 1. And that's standard form. All right, number 10. Find the slope of a line parallel to y equals 3/5 x minus 2 4/5. And that is, the line is going through negative 3, negative 2. Okay, well, for number 10, remember, slope of a parallel line is the same. So if it's just asking you to find the slope, it's going to be the same as it is in that equation, which is going to be 3/5. So your slope, m, is going to be 3/5. Same slope in parallel lines. Okay, find the y-intercept now, though. So now we're going to use these points, plug them into this equation, and find the y-intercept. Okay, so we're going to have negative 2 as my y equals 3/5 times negative 3, okay, minus 2 4/5. All right, so we need to find out what the y-intercept would be. Okay. And so we're going to put this together here. In fact, I'm going to erase, sorry, the last part of this because we're trying to find out what b is. That was the y-intercept of the last equation. So we're trying to find out what b is. There we go. So negative 2 equals 3/5 times negative 3 plus b. And we got to find out what b is. Okay, so first let's put 3/5 and negative 3 together. If we do that, we're going to have, I'm going to rewrite this equation. I got negative 2 equals negative 9/5 plus b. Okay, I need to get rid of the negative 9/5, so I'm going to add 9/5 to both sides. All right, and now I'm going to take negative 2 over 1 plus 9/5. I got to get a common denominator, which is going to be 5. That stays the same. That's times 5, so that's times 5. All right, so we get a negative 1/5. That is going to be my b. All right, so my y-intercept, b equals negative 1/5. Okay, now our slope-intercept form, y equals 3/5 x, okay, minus 1/5. Standard form, okay, we're going to move the 3/5 over, so we're going to have negative 3/5 x plus y equals negative 1/5. I need to multiply everything by a negative 5 to get rid of the negative and the 5. Okay, so these cancel out. So now I'm going to write it down here. Okay, so now I have a positive 3x minus 5y equals, if I multiply my negative 1/5 times negative 5, I'm going to have a positive 1. And there's my standard form. 3x minus 5y equals 1. Okay, I'm going to erase this here. I'm going to erase this here. Erase some of this stuff here. I'm going to move this up here. Let's try that again. Okay, now looking at number 13. Fill in the blanks so that each value in the second line is the same as the value directly above it. Okay, so again, the bottom line is going to be everything squared. The top line is the results, right? So we would have 1 squared equals 1, squared equals 4, 3 squared is going to be 9, 4 squared is going to be 16, 5 squared, 25, 6 squared is 36, 7 squared is 49, 8 squared is 64, 9 squared is 81, 10 squared is 100, 11 squared is 121, 12 squared is 144, 13 squared is 169, 14 squared is 196, and 15 squared is 225. Okay. Number 14 through 16. Oh boy, these are fun. Use a USA map to find the following information. Assume 25 miles per gallon and 50 miles per hour. Okay. So traveling between LA and Albuquerque, how far will we go? So again, I'm going to take out my Google Maps and I'm going to see how far it is from LA to Albuquerque. It says it's approximately about 804 miles. I'm going to write that over here. Okay, so how far will we go? Oh, that was the question for 14. So it's 804 miles. Okay, number 15, we leave at 4:42 a.m. and our ETA is, okay, so the trip is 804 miles. Okay, you're driving at 50 miles per hour. So we're going to take 804 divided by 50 miles per hour. Okay, and we get approximately, so 50 goes into 80 one time, 30 left over. I'm going to bring down my 4. 50 goes into 300 6 times. That's 300. Okay, it's going to be, bring down another, that 50 goes, so about 16 hours and 8 minutes. All right, erase this here. So 16 hours and 8 minutes. All right, so if we do 4:42, we're going to do some military time here. 4:42 and 16:08. 10, that's 5, it's 10, 11, 21:50 military time, which comes back to be about, let's see, I'm not proficient on my military time. That's about 8, right? So that's 8:47. Let me double check. So 8, 4, 21, 442. Yeah, so it's approximately about 8, 9 o'clock, right? So right about there. I'm going to say technically 8:50, right? So 9:50. I think I made a mistake somewhere. Once again, let me double check. 4.8. Yeah, it's about 8:50, right? We'll just say it's about 8:50 p.m. is when they arrive. All right, number 16. How much gas is consumed? Okay, so you need to take your 804 miles divided by their miles per gallon, which was 25. So I'm going to do 804 miles divided by 25. 25 goes into 80 3 times. 25 goes into 54 twice. 25 goes into 40. So about 32 gallons. And 32 gallons times $1.29. Okay, so I'm going to erase this here. I got 32 gallons times $1.29. Okay, so 9 goes into 2, or 9 times 2 is 18. That's 27, 28. 2 times 2 is 4, 6, 2, 3, 8, 12. That's 8, 9, 10, 11. And 2 spaces, so about $41.28. Okay, $41.28 approximately. All right, number 17. Write 7/19 as a decimal, rounded to the nearest thousandth. Okay, I'm going to erase this over here. So 7/19, right? So if you just want to find that out, you do 7 divided by 19. Okay, remember your decimal goes right here. 7, 19 goes into 7, obviously 0 times. It goes into 70. Let's think. Well, 20 goes into 70. It's going to be, let's try 3 times. 3 times 9 is 27. That's 3, 4, 5. Okay. And so we're going to subtract this. So we get 13. Bring down our 0. 19 goes into 130. I'm going to guess, let's try 8 times. I'm just going to throw that number off the top of my head. 19 times 8. 9 times 8 is 72. It's 8, 152. I'm too high. I always shoot high, right? 19 times, let's try 6. 9 times 6 is 54. That's 6. And 114. I think we can do one more, right? It's 13, 3. Nope, can't. So 6 times. Okay, which is 114. 130 minus 114 is 16. Bring down my 0. 19 goes into 160. Let's see, that's going to be, is that 8 times? I cannot remember. It's been a long day. 9 times 8 is 72. That's 8, 15. Yep, so 8 times, which is 152. Okay, and it says to the nearest thousandths. We got to do one more space here. Okay, 19 goes into 80. It's going to be 9 times, right? 19 times 9. It's 81. 171. Yep. So that is 9 times. So to the nearest thousandth, then it's going to be 0.369 for number 17. Number 18, write 9/10 as a percent. Don't worry, I know this one off the top of my head. It's pretty easy. It's going to be 90%. Okay, as a decimal, 0.90. Is subtraction associative? It is absolutely not. Only addition and multiplication are associative. Okay, and then number 20, 16% of 24.3. Of means multiplication, remember, so you got 24.3 times 16%, which is 0.16. Multiply this out, 6 times 3 is 18, that's 24, 25, that's 12, 14. Carry your 0, 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 2 is 2. Add these together, you get 8, 8, 8, 3. 3 decimal places, 1, 2, 3. So 3.888. Okay, 3.888. All right, that is it for lesson, I don't even remember, 14E. Thank you for sticking with me. Sorry about the minor mistake I had in the middle. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them.